We're already approaching the halfway point of the domestic season. Already! Like a falling spice rack, doesn't time fly? But the league is taking a very short break this weekend to turn attention to the national team with a friendly against Georgia and a World Cup qualifier against Gibraltar. Back to the league, and when we last spoke we were both very excited about NSI and Klaksvík clashing, both of whom had won 8 from 8. Well, in the 4 games since, they've actually played twice. Yes, that second meeting snuck up on you, didn't it? Klaksvík won the first meeting 2-1 to go 9 for 9. Klaksvík's winning run would come to an end with a 1-1 draw against HB in the game that followed, while NSI scored another 7 goals, all these against FC Suðuroy, but then lost 4-1 to HB, undoing all that hard work. Then they faced Klaksvík a second time and lost for a second time, 3-2 on this occasion. As a result, Klaksvík have a very healthy 7-point lead over their Runavík rivals. Quick shout out though to NSI's Brandur Hendriksson, who is using free kicks to bid for his own goal of the season compilation, with nothing but absolute outside the box bangers. HB's win over NSI has helped them get within 2 points of second. HB now have Andre Olsen at the helm, who spent most of his playing career at B68 top tier, and now, with HB fan favourite Tite Gessen as his assistant, he's taking control of HB from here on in. Vojtinga, reigning champions remember, are in the middle of the pack and are fighting B36 for 4th and were on a good run, but 2 defeats to HB have set them back a little bit. They currently sit on level points with EB Stramer, who have taken 4 points from 2 games against B36 these last few weeks. However, the draw was a 0-0 where the normally electric Bubakar Darbo missed 2 penalties. At the bottom, 07 Vestur have finally started turning their fortunes around and won 2 games in a row, an impressive 5-0 against TB and a 3-1 against B68 top tier. They got a new manager bounce as Dan Brimsvik was given the boot. He's since joined Danish side Lyngby as an academy coach. In came Michael Schoenberg. Hold on, that name sounds familiar, you might say, if you were watching this channel in 2022 and 2023, which does seem unlikely, but yes, Michael was 07 Vestur coach for a season and a half before leaving to go back to his native Denmark, but he's returned and guided 07 Vestur to 2 immediate wins. B68 stopped a poor run with a 4-1 win over TB, but if you can see any of the goals through this famous Faroese fog, then you're doing better than me. When the fog did sort of clear up for this Jakob Wilhelmsson wonder goal, the stadium camera frazzled out. Sorry Jakob, but what we could see of it looked great. FC Suðuroy have lost 7 games in a row, but they have all been matches against the top 5, so a very difficult run of fixtures. They were 2-0 up against B36 with 15 minutes to go, but agonisingly lost 3-2. It does mean that with just 6 points on the board, they are equal bottom with their island frenemies TB. There's a new face in the dugout at TB too, as Thomas Tingard is tackling the task of taking the TB team to triumph. Thomas has been assistant manager at Danish side Vendsyssel and previously worked as the Faroe Islands under-17 coach. Look at the table, or don't, I can't tell you what to do. Weirdly, it's nearly geographically accurate, with the most northern side at the top and the 2 southern island sides at the bottom. Can Klaksvík repeat their undefeated 2022 season? And a quick note on the squad going into those internationals. 8 of the squad play for Klaksvík, including recent signing Daniel Johansson, who has returned to the Faroe Islands after 2 years playing in Denmark at Thisted and Hillerød. Hillerød. These guys. 2 players could be in line for their international debuts. Vojtinga striker Paul Kausberg scored a hat-trick against FC Suðuroy last week, and Ari Peterson, 07 Vestur's goalkeeper, also gets a call-up. This might feel a bit surprising given some of the more questionable performances this season and the team being in the relegation zone until very recently. But in fact, 07 Vestur have conceded fewer goals than 3rd place HB, and Pettersson has been performing well for the Faroe Islands under-21 team, helping them to 3 wins in Euro 2025 qualifying, so he's very familiar with the international setup. So, with 2 internationals coming up and then the European ties being drawn, there's plenty to keep your eyes out for, and if you don't want to keep your eyes out for them, then I have extra eyes to help, and if you miss it, I'll make sure you're all clued up in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.